o'clock. It's not crackerjack.
Is that on at
5 o'clock crackerjack on a Friday, I think it was. I don't overly remember, to be honest. Oh, look. Better turn myself down because I don't want to hear myself talk. Do that all day. Share. One share. And shared. Why is that still making a noise? Hi, Bee Crafty. I'm not even going to guess who it is because I got it wrong the other day.
I think it's...
Oh, 2 Bee Crafties. No, I don't know. Hi, Sam and Bev. Hi, Carol. Hi, Serena. Oh, hi, Rizwana. I hope I've said that correctly. Hi, Kim. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another live. And look, I just want to say, look at this lovely clean inkable that is here. That you cannot say that my inkables are not as clean as Sally's.
I mean, it's not super duper clean, is it?
What? Oh, it might have a little bit. I mean, to be fair, those are the other 2 I'm going to use. So they may be a little bit more dirty than the other one, but they're not that bad.
They're well loved.
Well loved, that's what it is. So let me see who I've missed. Hello, Gabrielle. Hi, Sally. No, it was you. Oh, that would confuse me. Hello, Caroline. Hi, Dina. Hi, Samma. Hi, Shaz. Hi, Muriel. Hi, Shireen. Oop. Hi, Serena. I thought I already said hello, Serena. Hi, Sue. It's not new. I cleaned it. I didn't clean it for this. It was already clean. Hi, Gail. Hi, Lynn. Oh, dear. Hi, Pauline. No, it wasn't you, Bev. It was Sam. Who suggested, I think, that I might be the dirtiest design team member in terms of my inkables. Hi, Linda. Right, if I miss anybody's comments, I'm really sorry. Hello, Janet. I have got the beautiful new stamps in front of me. Good afternoon, Charmaine. And I've just got out 3 of the cards I made that all had the face of the dream. I keep calling it the Dream Girl, and then that makes me think there's a film, isn't there, or a show called The Dream Girls. Just to show how different she looks, just stamped out in different ways and coloured in different ways. And I have, so this one I've gone very like mixed media not mixed media, but very patterned background, and then stamped her over the top, and I coloured her. I think that was actually with alcohol markers, but because she had the pattern behind her, you could still see through, which was quite fun. And I extended her hair, which I'm going to do today. Then on this one, I just kept her really sort of simple and just literally using the stamp itself and giving her more of a sort of more, what's the word? She got blonde hair. There you go. The bouncy blow dry. And on this one, I cut her up. I decapitated her and I cut her into pieces just for fun. Just because I thought I'd like her to look like it was a little photos to go with that really fab sentiment, which I totally agree with as well. So that's just to give you just a little look at how she can look really different in different styles. So I'm going to, oh look, one of the stamps has fallen off. I'm going to do some art journaling. I've got the large, not the large, the normal sized black Dina Wakley, and I've found this set of pages. Now I'm probably going to focus most on this side. Cannibal. I am a cannibal, but I haven't got a chest freezer, Shireen, so you know I'm obviously not dodgy as some. Hi Noreen, I'm sorry if I've missed and saying hello to anybody. Hello everybody, thank you for joining this afternoon. I may work on the burlap, I'm not sure yet, but I thought we would go with some paints. So I've got a few of the straightforward, so to speak, Dylusions paints, these three, but they are quite neon in colour. And then I've got a couple of the shimmer paints just to add a different dimension. I've gone so that I've got a sort of a range across of the colours, but I don't want to smother, unusually, or a basement. We haven't been at the attic. We've got to go and have a look in the attic yet. I'm not going to smother my whole pages as I would normally do. I am going to try to leave some white space, shock horror, in honour of the launch. I'm just trying to find some paper to stick under my page so that it doesn't go everywhere. Hi Dominique. So I'm going to pop that under there just because if I do use the Hessian, it will go through. I'm going to sort of go between Hessian and burlap in my terms. Hi Samantha.
What's the difference between Hessian and burlap?
Nothing. Oh no, Serena. Oh, there's nothing worse than a banging headache. I know that feeling. It's just an American term and a British term, I think. Oh. So I'm going to use my Brea. Now, I don't think this is the one that's on the website, but it is a Ranger one. That's, I see I'm just like dooming myself now, aren't I? Because that should be pink. Obviously used gold or something. I don't know what I've used on that. I do sometimes clean it, but you know, I'm just going to squidge a little bit. Oh, come on. There we go. Just want to experiment with a little bit to start with. Oh, whoa. Now, if it's a bit too solid in one area, I will do a bit on the Hessian then, Tina, just for you. So we're going to put I'm putting down the lightest colour first. I'm just going to, oops, that's not paint, that's water. I'm going to do it in these two corners. And again, that's probably I'm going to spritz it first this time, just to water it down a little bit. And that is the thing about acrylic paint, you can sort of water it down. Now, you will notice the difference on the burlap is that you get a much more muted look. Hi Jackie. So let's pop a bit on here. Now also, because it's like a fabric, it does sink in really quickly, so you can't get as much, if you see there, you can't get as much movement. So it's actually probably best to get a brush. Oh no, don't know. Thank you. Get this brush and I will put it on the brush. They will get dulled down though, Carol, with everything that's going to be on top of them. Just put a bit on there. Let's put a bit more over here. Now these, as I said, these are the neons. So there are Dylusions paints in yellow, orange and pink that are not as bright as these. These ones were brought out specifically to be bright. So, but if you have a look, see underneath, because you've got holes in your Hessian, it will come through. And it won't be as bright on there as it was on here. So let's give that a little bit of spreading out. So I'm going to do that. Hope you can see. Well, I'm presuming that you're talking to somebody else, Gail. Oh, these ones do have a ball in. I always forget that. So let's just put a little tiny bit on there. So I just want to. I'm just literally wanting to do. I'm trying to be a bit more restrained. Don't know why. Right, I'm going to put this on the brush again, so that. Oh, let's pop a bit of that on that side. Ooh. thing with the Hessian is as well, what I've often done is, if you are worried about working on it, to be fair, just do exactly what you would do on your other pages. All it is it's just going to give you a different effect. And yeah, you could just sew the Hessian and then you get a better. But I quite like the whole thing of having, I mean, you could use a cleared gesso actually. So I'm going to do a bit of pink. Not too much. This one, I didn't tell you the name today. This one is Tropical Sangria. The orange is Mango Punch, and the yellow is Lemon Drop. I had to look then. So I'm trying to sort of put a little bit less out each time. Whether that's working or not is another matter. But I'm not too worried because I'm going to stencil and stamp all over this. And let's put a little bit of pink just to let's have a bit more pink. I mean, yeah, like was just said, I think, as it Sam just said, basically just use everything the same on your burlap. You'll just get a different look. It's, you know, and it's quite just, I like this because I just like the fun of different surfaces. I'm just going to leave that there for a minute. Now I've got the shimmers, which I'm going to use with some stencils, and I'm not going to apologise. I've gone for circles, 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 and more circles. I've gone for big circles, little circles, and then tiny circles with stripes, because I thought these went really nicely with the journal elements. So you've got the circles, you've got the smaller circles, you've got that stripe effect. So do you do a journal with white pages but not texture? Oh, I think that's a question. Look, that one fell off again. I'm just going to stick it again. I think that's a question for Bev or Sam. Right, so I'm going to start with my biggest one, and I'm going to go with the green, the fresh lime, and we're going to pop a bit. I'm going to get one of these out, a block. So my Super Skinny Slims double up as a palette. They are multi-purpose, and the brush might look pink on the end, but it is clean. I promise. Now, if I was worried about my colours mixing too much with the ones underneath, I would have dried. But to be honest, I just started doing this without even thinking. And I always put out less paint on purpose than I need, so that I don't waste any. I could have perhaps put a little bit more out than that. So let's have a bit of circlage. To be fair, acrylic paint dries really, really quickly, so you don't overly need to. Getting through a lot of acrylic paint. I have to say, I didn't gesso my pages. Perhaps if I would have gessoed my pages, this is a reason why you might gesso your pages, actually. There's many reasons why you might gesso your pages, but it does provide you with like a bit of a barrier. So anything that is, things don't get absorbed so easily into it. So if you want to save on your paint, it's often a good way of doing that. Or if you want things to move more, like with your water-based things, or like things like your distressed crayons, the gesso helps that to happen. Now let's see how this works over here. Now I'm going to be a bit more sort of swirly rather than stipply with this one, and this will soak in. Again, if you'd put clear transparent gesso on it, then it would sit on the top a bit more and not go in so much. So if I do this a little bit thicker, just so you can see how it looks different on each side. Oh, I like that on there. That's nice. I don't know why I'm turning that around. Let's go with you love this moment of my life. Oh, why? What's happened? Emma, please can you take my stencil? Thank you, Emma. I'm going to pop. Oh no, I'm not. I'm going to use that. I'm going to keep that out and use it with the blue. Pop that in some water for me, please. And I'm going to go with the smaller one. My screen's frozen, but I can still see the comments. Oh, wondering. You can join me then, because I'm usually wondering what was going to happen next. I'm going to use some of the lovely Calypso 2. It has to be one of my favourite Dilutions colours. At the moment, I don't know why. She's not feeling too good today, actually. I am being a bit mean because she had her vaccination yesterday and her arm, so she doesn't feel very well. So I'm being mean. So I'm getting a bit of a mixture, actually, with the fresh lime and the... no, well, not overly. I'm going to take this right the way across now because I've sort of kept in those corners. Oh, they are. Emma, Sarah Lou says you're a superstar. What? What? Sarah Lou says you're a superstar. So we've got a sort of a flow going down here. Let's put a little bit more blue out. I am a mean mum. Sarah Lou said you're a superstar. They're being nice to you to make up for me being so horrid. She likes it, really. She needs to learn. Now, with this, because because it's the burlap, I'm sort of being a little bit more rough than I would on the watercolour. So there we go. Let's have maybe a little bit in the middle there. Do you know what? I'm actually really loving the Hessian side. Oh no, Shaz. Oh, I hope you feel better soon. Oh, Emma, I've got another stencil. I'm so mean. Right, now I have got my other ink ball, but I'm saving that for a bit later. Thank you, Emma. I'm going to save that one. So I am actually going to put this down and aside so that it can be dry and I don't have to use my hideous heat tool. So hopefully that will start drying more or less on its own. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to create some of my own rice paper using some archival inks. And I normally always do it in black, but I thought we'd have a bit of colour on there. And Bev was using some collage paper earlier where she'd done the pattern sort of in rows, but I'm going to sort of maybe try and layer them up a bit and really sort of play. Now, I've never used coloured archivals on collage paper before. There's no reason why you can't. It's, you know, it's any ink. It's just I always stick to black and I don't know why. So I'm going to use that one. I know you love it, really. It's a lovely heat tool, really. And I'm also going to use in conjunction the journal art elements, the first one, and the journal art elements, the second one. So you can see from that how they just all really just mix and match beautifully together. So let's go with, now I did get out the yellow archival, but I'm not sure how much it's going to show up. So I got it out in the end because I thought, oh, it'll match the colour. So I tried, if you can't tell, did try to pick colours that would match the paints, but I'm not sure how much that's going to show up. So what I might do, I'll do that one first, and let's do quite a solid stamp with that, because that way it might show up. If it doesn't show up, then I'll just switch to another colour. Oh yes, should have said that. Yeah, so I'm using archivals because they are oh, it does show up, nice. Permanent ink, so you want something that when you put that collage medium down, it's not going to smear it around. And also when I'm going, because I've now used acrylic paint in the background, that also won't move. However, I do stick collage paper over the top of things like distress inks. You just have to be a bit sort of careful that you don't move it all around too much. So let's just, I've sort of said I wasn't doing it in, I'm just going to go a bit random now. Now I know that the yellow is fine. I'm going to go random. I might even go, I might go mad and turn it round and go the other way. Here we go, have some of this. Is it just the word smeared? Let's go. Now you will notice that although I have turned it up vertically and horizontally, I don't go diagonal. I haven't tried the Hero Arts on the collage paper necessarily, but to be honest, there's no reason why it shouldn't work. Right, let's have a look, because it's a permanent ink. I'm going to use the circles now off of the first set. My ones aren't, Gail. They're all right, but they're not very, very moist. I'm guessing that's another word. So let's just do some. This is actually really good fun because you're just sort of building up patterns, really. Now this one, I should tell you what colours these are, because I know that there's some sets on the website that I've used. God, I can't even read that. Do you know, I truly cannot read that. Oh, chrome yellow, and this one's monarch orange. That's a mixture of the way that's written on there and also my terrible, terrible eyes. Even I've got my glasses on. Let's do one there. Let's do that for the orange. So far I've gone very circly, haven't I? I will switch to some others. Let's go with the stripes. Hi, Alison. Oh, that's not big enough. I'm going to go with the border one, border slim. And so we've gone yellow, orange, let's go pink. Now this is actually quite nice, because sometimes these ones, I find some of those paler colours, when you try to put them in your journal normally, they can get a bit lost. Oh no, Pauline. I have to say, I think there is weather warnings, isn't there, for tomorrow, certainly for us, thunderstorms and rain and stuff. So it's very windy here as well. But yeah, when you're stamping onto this collage paper, some of these paler colours seem to stand out a lot better. And just layering them up, because you're layering them in different colours, it doesn't look sort of odd. Let's go. You can turn your paper around as well. I just always forget. Put it there. Yeah, that will do for that one. So that's the pink. We've got the green and the blue. You will notice as well, I do not worry about wiping my my archival off of my stamps. If you go right at the start, you can sometimes get some of it off, but you do. Ooh, I don't know what that was. You need to use usually a proper archival cleaner, and to be honest, it helps your stamps, I think. Well, a lot of people say. I think even Tim Holt says that. primes your stamps, doesn't it? Let's have a bit of script. Let's go in blue. This is from the Distress collection. This is Mermaid Lagoon. I do need to get actually the other set that I haven't got. I've got two of the sets. I've got the ones with the blues and greens and ones with the neutrals in, but I have got to get to the other set. Ooh. I'm hoping you're still there because my comments are not coming up now, but that might just be because you're not commenting. But I can see hearts and things, so that's okay. Oh, no comment. Yes, it, oop. Whoa, close. It is, isn't it, Goa? And that's what I love about this. I just like the idea you're creating your own sort of paper, and you're never ever going to be able to make this the same again. It's always going to be different. Oh, you're still there, thank you. It's really weird when the sort of my feed stopped on there, but obviously it's still going. It always feels a bit strange. Right, now what one? I think we've got to go with. We've got to go with these ones. So I'm going to stick all three of these on in one go. I do love these ones. Do we want to go? Let's go like that. And what haven't we used? Haven't used the green. The green is the peeled paint. Oh, I can hurry up because I want to have time to do my girl. Oh, that one didn't work as well. Sometimes I find with the archivals, you sort of have to almost apply more than one layer of ink. Oh, thank you, Jackie. Was she supposed to? Oh, yeah, see, that's working better now. It's almost like when you put one layer on it, it gives something for the other layers to stick to. Oh, I was getting confused then. And let's pop one up here. So, I mean, you could have done this straight onto your journal page, but to be honest, I think by doing it on the paper, you sort of get a bit freer. You're not worrying about stamping it onto the texture, so it frees you up a bit. Now, I think we just do need just a little touch of black. Now, which one are we going to go with? Want one that's not too much. I'm thinking maybe just these little stripes here, because then that will go with the stripes in the dink ball. So let's have a little bit of the, so it's just a little bit. So sometimes you just need a little bit of black and white just to give you that contrast. Usually, I mean, I just love stamping in black, full stop. I have to stop myself doing it, actually. It's been a long day, too much excitement. I've been really bad and I've just left the edges, haven't I? I don't know why I've left the edges. I haven't done that on purpose. And I mean, the thing with these stamps as well is you can, if you know, it's a tiny stamp, but just keep on stamping and you make a bigger pattern. So now I've done that there, I'm going to just repeat that sort of up here so that it afternoon, Anne. I need to catch up your video. I did sort of have a little quick, like I was trying to whiz through it, but just before, but then I thought, oh, I better come off, otherwise I'm going to be late. It looked lovely though. Oh, thank you, Nula. Right, let's do them two there. Oh, so now I'm going to get carried away with this, and I want to put a bit more there. Let's just have that. That's it. We'll stop. We'll stop. Stop. Okay, so hopefully in this time the paint has dried on the journal page. Let's have a look. Now you're going to have to tell me now if that is back in the right place, because I can't see it on the screen. I think that is more or less dry, but I will give it a very quick squeeze. So I apologise if it's really loud in your ears. Oh, brilliant. Thank you, Jackie. It's still slightly damp, but I'm not going to worry. Now, normally, if I was to tear this, I would use... oh, I'm going to do it that way because I think that that's the way it's going. I would use water, but because I'm just going to tear it into strips, really, you should see, it's probably jealousy of my lovely heat tool. Right, now I'm going to, I'm not too worried about getting really fluffy edges for this, because it is literally going to be strips, so I'm not too bothered. But I am going to stick some of my collage paper onto here with my very most favouriteest product of all time, Tim Holtz Distress Collage Medium Matte. That's very true, Alison. I can't reach my brushes. They're in my nice new big pot. I'll use this massive one because it's not going to fit in the pot. So this is why he needs to bring out a bigger pot, because, you know, I need to fit a big brush into there. Now I'm going to put some on there. Oh, that's okay, Serena. Have a lovely evening. And then let's go. Put some that on there. And then, as you, dear Mr. Jane, do you know what though, Shireen? I have actually got one. It's in the cupboard. I just don't tend to have it out because I've run out of space. Thank you, Janet. I know. That's probably even more annoying, isn't it? The fact that I do actually have one. I just don't use it. And also there is a lower heat setting on that heat tool. I just don't use that either because I like things to dry quick. So let's put a bit of that on there. And it's just like making sure you got your glue on the back, your glue on the front. And if you put enough of the medium on, yeah, it sort of it melts into the page, the paper. It's my one rebellious act is to have my noisy heat tool. Right, now you can, like we said about the burlap, you can do everything that you do on one of your watercolor pages, you can do on your burlap. So let's pop a bit of, now again, you are going to find that if you haven't gessoed, then, I mean, you might find that because there's paint under there, it will give it a little bit of a key or a base, you know, to go onto, so it won't sink in quite so much, but it will sink in more than it does on the other paper. Oops, let's pop that one that way this time. And I do find that on these pages you do see more of that whiteness, but again, it's another look. So, you know, I think it's all about just finding what you like. Ooh. It does make a difference, doesn't it, Sandra? It really just, oh, it's that way up. If you can tell. By the way, I stamp up. There is a shiny side and a more matte side to your paper, to your collage paper. So I always stamp on the shiny side, which I've always presumed is correct. Because when you look at the other printed papers that Dina has, they're all sort of printed on the shiny side. So I always figure that's the side that you're meant to sort of stamp onto. She's probably said it in a video at some point. Whoops, I've lifted that one up. And it will lift up a little bit while it's still wet. Once it's dry, it will stick to your page better. And sometimes I find if it hasn't gone quite as I want, you just lift it up. The other thing with this paper is really quite robust, but if it does tear, then you just can stick it down, you know, back together again. You know, it will just look like it's not torn. So let's put a little bit of on this bit. I'm going to tear it off because I don't want to waste that bit around the edge or anything. I mean, the thing with art journaling is it really is a case of sort of not getting disheartened sort of early on in the process, because it really does come together as you carry on. And like you'll always go through that stage where you think, oh, what have I done? Many times. Sometimes it may stay like that, but most of the time it will change as you go along, and you just keep on going. Keep going, and if at the end of it you really don't like it, you can just go over it and, you know, start again. And if you really don't like it and it is beyond redemption, rip it out. Shh, I never rip it. I may have very occasionally ripped things out of my journal if I really can't live with them.
Paint over it with gesso.
I said if you can't paint over it with gesso, Emma. But generally, you can rescue those things. Or stick big tags over the top. That's the other thing you can do. But at the end of the day, it's your journal, so, you know, you don't have to show it to anybody. And if you do, they have no right to comment, because it's your journal. You just go, well, I like it. Yeah, I sometimes do that, go, I'll leave it till tomorrow and then I'll know what to do. It doesn't always work, does it? Right, let's move those bits. I think there, that's whoop, a bit stuck to my finger. So let's put that lid on that, and we'll put that one in the water, and we will leave it to try and dry on its own if we can. And I will stamp out our, oh no, I was going to put some texture paste on. I was going to add some white grit paste with this. Now my grit paste is been open a long time, and it is getting a bit near to the bottom of its life, but I think it is still just about yes, still just about workable. Actually, that's more than just about workable, that's fine. So I've just thought, just again, because you've got your hints of black in the tissue, so let's just add some highlights of white. So sometimes if you find something's looking a little bit dark, just by adding even just a touch of either white gesso through a stencil or texture paste through a stencil, if you want the more dimension, it just lifts sort of those areas. I'm thinking I just want a tiny bit up here. Thank you, Louisa. And see, even though there is that bright neons in the background, by the time you've put everything else on it, it does tone it down. And again, you can use your texture paste onto your other surfaces. I would also say everything you can do in an art journal, and if you do get a bit, sometimes you can scrape it off, otherwise I don't worry too much. Everything you can do in an art journal, you can do on a card or a canvas or a piece of MDF or a scrapbook page or whatever. It's the techniques are the same, whatever, you know, whatever you're doing. So don't ever think of it, oh, that's just for card making, or that's just for scrapbooking, or that's just for, you know, mixed media. It's not, everything's for everything in my world. Let's just have a little bit there. So you can see how different that side looks to that side. Emma, please could you put that in the, I really do need that one to go in the water. Yeah, I mean the paint on the stencils.
Which one?
This little one here. The paint on the stencils you can get away with then cleaning it afterwards. But to be honest, with the little dots and dashes, no, it's not. I think it will be on the website or in a set. I'm not sure what set it's in. I'm sure Bev or Sam will be able to pop a link on. Right, so I'm going to pop that down again just to be drying. And I'm going to, sorry, I'm leaning over. I can't see myself leaning over, but I'm going to get our beautiful dream girl. Oh, I've got stuff all over my hands. And let's pop her onto, she fits. This is the second largest in the set of 4. So not the second largest overall, because the A4, oh, there you go, Thinkable set 6. So I'm going to pop her in the middle because I want to increase her hair. So I'm going to be using, I think, my Ecolines to colour her in. So I'm going to use Archival, or I could use the Hero Arts or VersaFine Claire or VersaFine, but because this is the one that's always on my desk, I will use this one. So this is a permanent, so if you use water-based products with it, the lines are not going to move. So let's pop that in the middle. Now, like we said, keep your hand on, just a little flex if you want to make sure, because I'm stamping her right into the middle of the card, so sometimes if you're on the edge, it's not so, oh, really bad wind and stuff again. It's the wind I don't like. Because of where we are, we always get bad. That's going to sound bad. We always get bad wind here on the Isle of Wight. Right, so I've got a Micron pen, and I'm going to cheat and look at my other one because now I've scared myself to do it. So with her here, I just went, oh, that's one that's, I've got 2 Micron pens and one's new and one's not. That was not the new one. So I've never learned to, when I get a new one of something, to actually throw the old one away. So just go. I went like that. So she's got, what's that called? Is it like a bouffant? And then just where her neck comes down, just giving her a hint like that. And then just, sort of went. So using Bev's lines just to, and I know that Sally did one of her girls with the hair really sort of coming out to the side as well. So you could do that easily, or both sides, or however you want it. It's not as nice as the time I did it the first time. So because it's sketchy lines, you can sort of get away with just keeping going with it. Now I'm wondering whether I'm thinking of cutting her out. I'm leaving her on the. I'm just going to have to hold her down there. See how big she's going to be on there. She's quite big. I may have to cut her out. So let's have a quick cut out of her. Now this is on a watercolour. I might actually sort of not cutting it exactly, but she's going to be coloured in. So this is when I really should have used bigger scissors. Let's give her a look. There we go. She's still quite big. I may have made her too big for the page, but I don't mind. We'll see. So I'm going to just grab a big black permanent marker pen and just, it's Faber-Castell one, and just, I don't like the white edges around things when I cut them out. So, you could also do this with your ink pad if you can manage to do it sort of quite carefully. That's because they're like a serrated scissor. See, I'm just really weird because I love all of those noises that other people don't like. There we go. So if you look at her now, there she looks like she looks quite smaller than she is here, but her face is exactly the same size. It's just because you've and you didn't have to give her as big a hairdo as me. You can, do it a bit less. She can have more of a gentle bob. So let's pop that over there. Let's grabbing this. Oh, they are. I do like the scissors. All right, let's go with some very quick colouring. I will have this out as well just to help me, and I need my little. Oh, and I've done what I always do. I've put all my dirty brushes in my water, and now I'm going to try and use that water. Luckily, it's all sort of sitting at the bottom. Let's go with, let's grab a few colours that we think are going to be acceptable. Beige, pink, beige. What's that one? She don't want to be yellow, does she? Right, let's go with the beige to start with. So just giving her a very quick bit of colouring. Just go all the way across. Oops, and she needs a neck colouring, and we won't forget a neck. I do tend to forget the neck. This is many years of supplies, though, I do have to say. That's something else I would always say as well. Like when you look at people, especially people doing lives and things, just don't forget that, I mean, usually that is a long time's worth of supplies built up. I mean, it's not an overnight sort of thing. Now, I don't overly like it when I go onto the wet. It never feels quite right. So let's just grab that separately and do. So we're now making her have a bit more shadow around the edges. And down the sides of her nose. And under where her chin is. And under the nose bit, I always think about trying to make her look like it's too dark. And then to warm her up a bit, because now she's got looking quite sort of pallid. Is that the word? Let's give her, oops, that's not working. Let's give her some pink straight on actually. There we go. It's a straight onto her cheek. And let's give her, I do tend to go with a sort of naturalish tone. So whatever tone I put into her cheeks to warm up her skin, I do tend to also then use sort of in her lips as well. So I want to drag that colour. And I try not to overwork it too much, because when you overwork it, it does even your watercolour will start to pull up a bit. Right, so let's think. Do we want to go blue hair, purple hair, green hair? What do we want? Normal hair. I say normal. No, blonde hair, or I feel like I want to just cut around that a little bit. They are, I do love, I have to say, I think they're one of my go-to mediums now for colouring. Purple, right? The first one was purple. So we've got two types of purple, I have to say. Red violet and blue violet. So let's go with red violet. I might have to go with a bigger pen, a bigger brush even, because I've got quite a lot of hair to cover here, haven't I? So let's go with this one, because it's the first one that came to me. So let's just give her, this is more of a pinky purple, I have to admit, this one, but the other one's more of a bluey purple. Oh, yes, it will actually, Anne. Right, so if you find you know, it's getting a bit, sometimes I'm doing it, I think, oh, that's not moving very well, and then I realise that all I need to do is put a little bit more water on my brush. Oop, splattered myself. It's the water. As I was doing that, the water came off the brush. Let's give her a bit of that, and then let's go, what's the time? Okay. You see the skill and time I take with colouring, it's amazing. I do sort of tend to maybe go a bit darker around where the hair would be near your face, and sometimes a little bit darker sort of up the top, but then really it would be lighter up top. I don't think there's any sort of rules, and unless you're obviously, if you're a fine artist, then you obviously do take a lot more time and care over where your highlights are and where your shadows are. But you know, when you're doing it for your art journal, it's better to take, you know, just have a bit of fun with it. So let's get some green going on eyes. I don't know why I'm always doing green eyes lately. I just do, and I'll get my gel pen, and of course I would wait for this to be thoroughly dry. I can't find my thickest one, so let's go with the number 8 because that's the one that's there. Go with a bit of a catch light. Probably wait for that to dry properly before and you could also put some highlights in her hair. And let's just do her top. Let's go with purple is opposite of yellow. Oh, thank you, Lynn. That's really nice when people say things, because it makes you feel like it's worthwhile. It's always worthwhile, to be fair, but if it like gives it somebody some ideas, it's just the best. So I'm going with the yellow because yellow is opposite to purple on the colour wheel, so it's complementary. So they generally look pretty good together. They are Ecoline brush markers, Tracy. watercolour brush markers. Now that is simple colouring. That is not any like special techniques. That is literally getting the colour onto the paper, onto the card. So I am going to get my journal back up. Move that one across, move those across, and see how she's going to. See, now I'm just concerned she's going to cover up too much of my background. So this is why we always say don't fall in love with your background, because you know you end up covering it up. Oh no, where's she gonna go? So you could cut her. Not that I am obsessed with decapitating people, but you could cut that part off. You could cut that part off and then put the other half on that side. What do we think? Shall I cut her? Oh, I'm going to cut her. Hey, Bev's told me to chop her off. Chop a bit off. This is when I use my deadly. Oh, I'm going to turn it that way because, hold on a minute, I want it, so I want less on that side, don't I? No, hold on. I've got a memory of a goldfish. Oh, I don't want to cut for her eye. That would feel really terrible. Oh, yes. That is what was required. Then she can have that part that side and that part that side. And then we need one of the fabulous, and I think it has to be I Am Awesome, because I know who I am inside. I'm going to have to move. I can't lean on it because the texture paste will still be wet. Let's go with this one. Is that going to fit? Oh, just fit on there. I just put my fingers in the texture paste. I can feel it or something. Oops. And my usual, I'm inking up on top of the piece of card, which is really bad because it invariably results in me getting ink all over the card. I'm awesome because I know who I am inside. She does, doesn't she? Just doesn't that show you just the different part of the face? Just makes it look like a different face. Look at me with my guillotine again. I'm going to have to move my heat tool now. This is probably the really, I'm not doing this very well at all with the holding it down. And sultry. I'm not going to stick these down, because if I try to stick them down now whilst it's all still wet, they are not going to stick. So what I will do is I will lay it there, and then I'm going to get the black pen again. Bit Harley Quinn. Ooh, I've never seen. I think I've just about seen the end of one of those films that Harley Quinn's in. I mean, you could, if you wanted to, mount that, but I think she would just then be there, like that on both sides. I mean, if it is covering a little bit up there, but that's okay. So there we go. I'm awesome because I know who I am inside. And there we go. So let's, if I move the paper, then it will give you a better. I sometimes think the paper doesn't help. I'll just go down there. There we go. So there we are, the beautiful dream girl in her 2 dream pages bit of dilutions, bit of burlap, bit of watercolour paper, but beautiful stamps, lovely. And you can adapt them however you want so that she gets a totally different look to, you know, if you colour with different colour hair, she looks totally different. If you colour, you do it skin tones, everything, all different. And like you see, just cut her in half, which of course we wouldn't normally do. So thank you very much for joining me this afternoon. Congratulations to all the people who won any giveaways. And at 6 o'clock, we have the fabulous Sally doing her first live. So please do all come and support her. It will be fabulous, I am sure. So thank you ever so much, everybody, for joining me, and really enjoy the rest of the launch day. And thank you for watching. So see you later. Bye.